And if I open this up, that's interesting. So I'm assuming now you will be able to hear me. Okay. This is a bit of a problem because now my audio is echoing within the laptop. I kind of created a loop, so that can be a problem. Anyways, now you guys can hear me, so this is good news. At least we can continue because it's fine if I don't hear myself. That I can hear myself live, so should not be a problem. All right, thank you guys for joining in. I can see 4 users, so thank you everyone. I have Bernard, I have Vinod, who helped me understand that my audio is not proper. Thank you for that. Now let's start. A quick recap of what we are trying to do. So, as I said, this whole series is about try to understand how we can use AI and experience from probably a different programming language. Like I have been doing PHP for more than 16 years now, and I have worked with Laravel since version 3. So it's quite a long time. And there are some kind of techniques, best practices, patterns which I have picked up over the years when I have been working with Laravel. And generally speaking, when I learn a new language, I try to see how those patterns are implemented in that, first of all, so that I get a little bit of familiar territory to work with. And then to look at what are the best practices of that language. For example, when I was learning Java, I did a little bit of Java some time back, and initially I was following the typical MVC pattern, but then I started understanding how Java works, how people would structure their code, and so um, you know I learned that. And in this series, what I'm trying to do is build a mock of Airbnb. I call it Stay Nest. I have recently done a little bit of logos and stuff using AI as well. Right, I used Gemini to get those for me. So yeah, most of these things I'm doing in this series is going to be AI. My planning, my writing of code, everything, so that I'm able to not only get a sense of what's the experience looking like for an experienced developer to work with an language which he is not very comfortable with. It's like you generally know it, but you are not very comfortable. So how does that work? Okay, and that's the whole premise of this series. The project is an Airbnb mock. I felt that this should give us enough challenges in terms of content, architectures, and everything. And yeah, we'll have Python, FastAPI, MySQL database for our backend. We will create APIs, and then we will have Next.js for our front end. And I'll use these designs done by Stitch, the Google's AI designer, to give us a front end. Now, HK10539 is saying, "Hi, how are you doing?" Hey, I'm doing great. How are you? How's your weekend going, man? And yeah, thanks for joining this live stream. Okay. What have we done in our previous video? Okay, there's only one. This is the second video. I have my code base. So I'll quickly walk you through. What we did was set up Python, FastAPI, and SQL model to you know basically set up the project. Then I created just one model in our application, which is the hotel. Okay. And I don't know if I can in some way hide these init.py, because every now and then when I open a folder, right, I see those files and it kinds of becomes a little overwhelming for me. I'm not used to seeing so many files, especially these repeated file names. I don't know how Python developers do that. Need to pick up some tips and tricks from some videos or projects, maybe. But yeah, so we created a hotel model. Okay. And I have used Alembic as well for my migrations. That's typically what we should have. I don't like um, where models are automatically getting updated on production. Development is still fine, but even then, coming from Laravel background, I feel that's not something which I'm comfortable, because I'm not completely in control when the migration should run. So I like migrations on my project. Okay. And then we also have our database over here. Hey, it didn't move to dark theme. Why is it? Let me close and check. Yeah, it did. While it was about to exit is when it changed its color. Okay. Anyways, so yes, we have the model ready and the basic code is in place. Um, the idea here is to now kind of look at the APIs being created. Okay. I have gone ahead in the backend repository and created two issues as well. If you see over here, these are the two tickets where we will work on. And let's see how things go. Yeah. Okay. We have one more comment. Let me see. Hi here. Hi, new year. Hope you are doing good. Do you use the design file to decide your schemas? Say there's a Figma, and then you are to develop the backend while someone else does the front end. This is a question from Dinakan. Dinakan. Okay. So I hope I got your name right. And it's a very good question. So it I think it will depend on your comfort level and also how you have been working, at least for me. So I am primarily a very backend heavy developer. I know a little bit of React, Vue, and native vanilla JavaScript. So I won't say I'm a completely backend developer. I can um, do things in JavaScript, but not at the comfort level as, let's say, PHP or Laravel for that matter. Okay. Now, when I get my designs right, what I always do is I do look at them and try to understand what's the front end layer looking like. What are the different components and what are the interactions. Although I'm not very, I won't say I do a good justice with the interactions, but yeah, I generally tend to understand what the interactions are, what kind of architecture will be required for that. However, with any modern JavaScript, right, frameworks, if you see, even there, you have a very similar paradigm, which is the MVC. You have the views, which is your components, and if you are working with Next or Nuxt, for example, when you're making API calls, there are some APIs which are being called through the server side. And I like that approach. The reason is, let's say, we have abc.com where the front end is hosted. Fair enough. Your components are fetching data, you are making API calls, every interaction. For example, if I click on this heart, okay, there's a post call. Uh, it will take my user ID, the listing, the location, hotel ID, right? And it will try to insert a like for me for that particular product, right? Or so these kind of APIs interactions will be required. But what I want to do is I don't want to expose my APIs to the end world, for the out there. So we create that proxy, and it works really nice way, because your front end is making a call to, let's say, abc.com, is making all the API calls to abc.com/API slash something, and then that code is actually making the server side call, right? So there's that embassy pattern in there, where you have the controller which is making a call. Then you have a mix where you get the response from API, you store it in your store maybe, and you manage it. So you have the models in place as well. But yes, all in all, I feel that once I get the design, right now with the modern frameworks, there is a lot of overlap. But the way I try to architect is, or plan is, I will first look at the entities. I'll try and understand what is the backend looking like, what are the different database tables that I will need, what are the different interactions possible, what are the different APIs that I will have to create for the front end to work properly. And once I have those things in place, the front end becomes quite easy. Then you don't have to think much during the development. Okay, and I have seen that when you have done the initial bit in terms of planning the backend, the front end work becomes very easy, because they can also do their planning when they know what kind of APIs they are looking at, and what are the kind of responses they will get from different things. Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. All right. So where were we? Yes, and so I have this model. I will show you my migration. Okay, these are the fields in hotel, and as I was saying, I have this ticket. So let's concentrate on the first ticket, which is hotel CRUD API implementation. This is the technical specification, or the ticket that I have created, again using Claude. I haven't written it myself, and that was the whole idea. Like, try to do almost everything using AI. In here, I will need all the typical APIs. So list, view, create, update, delete. List will be paginated. The view will be slug based, and on create generate a slug. Yes, what I also told it to do was create some random element into the slug, because I do expect a lot of hotel names to be common. Okay, it is not right to expect that the names will be unique. So I will have similar names, but the slugs will be different because of this unique identifier. Okay, so let's get started. Let's create our first prompt and see how things come up. So what I'm doing here is I want to develop the CRUD for hotel. Let's start with the index. It needs to be paginated. Yeah, we need to use SQL model pagination. Then what else do we have? Create a schema validation schema for index. Then the data of hotel should come from a repository. Okay. And uh, 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 so I'll have the index. It should it should have a schema to validate the data of the hotel should come from a repository. This is fine. Um, no, the controller should call a service, and the service should call the repository. Um, so I have some leeway in terms of how to make the calls, if any caching layer is required, things like that. Okay. And what else? I think for index, this is fine. Um, the pattern for the URL that we have is this. So I can take it from the ticket. The URL for hotel should follow this. I have one more comment, which is clash HTM maybe. Yes, I'm vibe coding, and as I mentioned in my video initially, that the whole idea is how I can use my existing PHP knowledge to create a Python project with the best practices and everything. How far it goes is what I am trying to see here over here. Let me put it on plan mode, and let's see what it comes up with. Okay. Yeah, the Swagger APIs are here, and let's see what it pulls up. I'll also have my Claude ready over here. Don't use Composer to plan. Okay. Let's see. Asking questions. Okay. So what should the pagination response structure look like? Should it include fields like total count, page number, page size, and items? Yes, it should ideally, right? Simple, just return a list of items with offset. No, I will need the total because let's look at the design. I'm sure the total will be required. There has to be some level of pagination. So, yeah, I think I'll keep the total standard items, total int, page size. Yeah. Then the second thing it is asking is for the slug format. Should this be generated automatically when creating a hotel, or will it be provided in the request? Auto generated from hotel name. Should the index point filter, should the index endpoint filter hotels by any criteria? Only return is active. For now, let's go with that. We will have the filters later on. If we go so deep right now, it will become very overwhelming. Let's not do that. Create a paginated index endpoint for hotels following the established architecture, route, service, repository. Yeah. The endpoint will only return active hotels with a standard pagination response structure. Yes, this is correct. Okay. Don't use Composer to plan. Okay. So for cursor, right? Generally speaking, I have not seen too much of a problem with keeping things on auto mode, especially when I have a general idea of what I'm trying to get. I use the bigger models only when I feel it is a little complex or I'm not able to articulate too much in details is when I go for higher models. Otherwise, the composer is just fine. I don't run out of my limits as well with that. So yeah, that's one good thing. Mm, okay, architectural flow is hotels, page one, page size 20. Then the app route, service, repository, model. Okay, this is fine. Um, Hotel read response schema with all hotel fields, name, description, contact, phone number, email. Uh, okay, so here's the thing. I don't feel like exposing the contact and email by default. So what I will say is when getting the list, do not select the phone number and email. They are secured information and should be hidden by default. Okay, Clash TM is saying how many YOE do you have? YOE. I don't know what is IYOE. If it's an abbreviation, I'm sorry. You will need to tell me the full form. I'm very bad with these acronyms. There's too many. Okay, years of experience. Is that a new term? Years of experience. I have been in this industry for about 16, 17 years now, primarily doing PHP, and I work as a solution architect right now. So, yeah. Um, okay. What does the change look like? Do not include contact number or contact email for security. Perfect. Paginated response, generic paginated wrapper. Yes, the T thing is interesting. It did that. So good. Hotel index response, type aliases to this. Yes, paginated response with hotel read. So I guess it will have a hotel read, it will have an hotel create, those kind of schemas in place. Create a repository, get paginated. Okay. Returns paginated active hotels. It has a limit with active is true. Count. Okay. So I guess it has to make two queries to get the count. There's no other alternative. Which is fine. Then the service will call, calculates offset for primary this, calls repository methods, construct returns this. No commit needed. Yes. Create route, inject session, creates hotel service, calls service.list hotels because my service will have a method called list hotels. Perfect. Response. This is fine. Create directory. Yes. App has schemas, repository, services, routes. Okay, this is fine. Implementation details. This is code. I don't need to worry about that. Select query button from this. Import select statement. Okay, I will see that later. And notes and everything. Let us look at the notes. Slug generation logic will be implemented in the future CRUD operations. You got that right, my friend. Repository does not commit. Service layer is used for simple Default pagination is 1, page size 20, maximum page size 100. Okay. Make a small change. Do not allow the page size to be more than 20. I missed that. And we should have that in place. Otherwise, someone can request hundreds, thousands, God knows what, and you are returning a lot of JSONs, which can, kind of screw up your application, to be very honest. Clash TM. अरे आप तो भगवान हो. नहीं मेरे दोस्त, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I have experience. I've been working for a long time. But yes, thank you for the compliments. Fine. So max page size is this, security, this. Let's hit the build button and wait for it to do its magic. Okay. I could have done one more way, which is give it the entire crud, but then things will become very slow because we will have to do a lot of code review in just one shot, which I don't want to do. This is better, piece by piece. Also, what happens is I have seen that the consumption of the information becomes a bit easy now because you can easily read code, make corrections and stuff. So we will go step by step, small step at a time, so that you understand what is happening. Okay. Uh, Okay, you are just in here in the industry for 5 months. Any tips for me? Well, my friend, continue to learn as much as possible. This is a tough time. AI has its own share of dominance in the industry, and what I strongly believe is the the age of averages is going to become difficult because with AI agents becoming powerful, writing code is not going to be that difficult. You can see, I mean, um, writing code is almost like a commodity. If you have clarity what you want, you tell the agent, it will write it for you. It doesn't take too much time. Our entire crud, if I'm not wrong, is kind of generated already. We have not the crud, but at least the index got generated. It created 3 files in matter of minutes, so it's not very difficult. What is important is whether you are good at understanding the architecture, whether you are able to understand the requirement, understand how to best implement it, the actual software engineering part, not just writing the code, because you must have heard or you will hear at some point that if you type fast doesn't mean you are a fast developer. So that's what things are at right now in this industry. So read up a lot, question things which you are doing, try and understand the behind the scenes things. Okay, init.py, where is it? This is one piece of Python which I am slowly trying to get used to. Init.py. Okay, now this is the schema. Hotel.py. This is schema. Okay. Schema, if you guys are aware of Laravel, I compare schema with the request class, the validators. Okay. So it has created a class called hotel read, hotel response schema for index endpoint. I have ID, name, slug. Should I give out my ID? I don't need that. Correct? Because if everything is based on slug, why do I need the ID? It's a giveaway of the number of elements, right? Okay. One more change. I don't want the ID of the hotel to be part of the API response. Okay. Yeah. That kind of makes sense because why should I tell a user how many hotels do I have? This one, at some point, I think when I will create the um, other CRUDs, I'll have to see how I can get it at a global level. Right now, it is inside hotel schema, which doesn't make sense because later on I will create location entity and that will also have a pagination required. But yeah, this is fine. Config from attributes is true. What does this do? Close others. I'll have an ask chat ready over here. I thought I had read that somewhere, but I have forgotten, so I will ask it again. What does this part of the code do? So you need to question things if you don't understand, because you can't just blindly do everything and assume everything is right, because the models do hallucinate. The config class from attribute true configures pydantic to allow creating the schema from ORM objects. The config class with from attributes true configures pydantic to allow creating the schema from ORM objects. Okay. Enables creating a hotel read instance from an SQL model by reading its attribute. Without it, pydantic will only accept dictionaries or keyword arguments. In FastAPI with SQL model, you often return ORM instances from database. So hotel session get hotel ID, convert it to this. Hotel read equals hotel read model validate. Okay. The model validate will ensure that what I got in hotel is then transformed into the hotel read schema. So from the ORM, I will get the hotel entity. It will contain, let's say, the contact email, the contact phone number, the ID. But because my hotel read doesn't have those, it will go through that filtering process, is what I understand. Okay, this is fine. What's the other file? This is my repository. And so then if that this is the repository, I should have also got the service file. What happened to that hotel repository? And init is fine. It is getting the session. This is quite interesting, right? Like with Laravel, I never have the requirement to inject these things. Like literally in Laravel, I can do something like db or not even db. So hotel query, right? And then where, things like that. And it's just so easy. But in here, the pattern is quite different. I understand, and that's not a problem. But if we could have made this a bit easier, and if it was available readily, would have made things a bit easy. So there's one more question. What is the role of doing DSA in interviews? As you go up in experience, do they still ask DSA lead code style questions? Well, to be very honest, I have not done too much of DSA myself, and I won't be able to help you with that. Yes, there are certain companies who do focus a lot on your lead code experience, your DSA. They will ask you a lot of DSA questions. But I mean, that's the thing. If you spend enough time, you will learn it. But the question is, how much of it are you going to use in your work is important. Like the kind of work that I do, I haven't come across many situations where those were very useful, but that doesn't mean they are not, because if you are into situations where algorithms are very useful, you'll have to write very intense loops and codes, right? At that point, they are important, but there are other things like typical software applications where you don't need them so much. So it all depends what kind of company you are joining. Amazon's, Google's, they will definitely ask you, because efficient code there makes a huge difference. But if you're joining a startup, for example, they would like to understand how quickly you can ship code, and so it all depends. There's no one good answer, to be very honest. Um Anyways, get paginated statement session dot execute, and what happened to this? Ah, so get total count. Can I do slug? Yeah. Select, or maybe, as I rightly said, we have removed ID. Is it getting the, what is this hotel over here? I think that is important to know. Select hotel entity. Okay. And then the statement. It should ideally get it, but I think it is a problem with the static analyzer, because in the query we have removed the ID. So let me see. We have removed the ID from the query. So will ID hotel dot ID work here? Let me ask it, because I think what it will do is it will switch to slug and then do a count of that. But let's see what it has to say. Yes, ID works in the count query. The hotel model still has ID line 10. What what line 10? Okay. We only remove ID from this response. So yes, I was correct. And it must have been the static analyzer which is not able to understand it. Oh, and there are so many other files as well. Why is it stage files? I don't understand. Okay. Anyways. Um, just quickly look at things. Yeah. Okay. Stream health is fine. Viewer activity, everything looks normal. So let's continue. Count. Where is the count being requested? So I have, this is the repository. I have my service says hotel, list hotels. Okay. Offset equals page -1 into page size. Okay. And hotels equals self dot hotel repo. Okay, because I have injected here. Initialize repository with database session. Okay. Because my repository also need the session, it is passed in the constructor, is it? Yeah. That's how things are done here. Okay, no problem. So I understand that. So we pass the session over here, and then we have get paginated, and we have the total. So items equals hotel dot hotel read dot model validate. This is where I was talking about. We are filtering our data. Okay, so we have done that, and this is the index that we have over here. Hotel read. Perfect. Try out. It will not give me anything right now, which is fine. We will need to first create the create API. Okay, what happened? The machine is becoming a bit slower. Main.py. What is the change in main.py? We have added the routes. So app.include router. This is how we add routes to our application. So there will be a routes file over here somewhere. Let me see. Okay, so it's like the React thing. A lot of files will be hotel. So like if I now do hotel, yeah, I see model, route, schemas, services, repositories. Okay, fine. We'll have to get used to it. Sorry. Okay, now we have the index page size, service equals hotel service dot list hotels. Yeah, this is straightforward stuff. Nothing extraordinary. And this we have seen, so I can say keep. All this is done. I think all of this is done. Um, what I will do over here is, oops, come over here and look at the diffs. This should go. So is this one, and this one. Okay, once this is done, hotel, we have gone through this. Yes, this is the repository. Okay, this is the router. This is the schema. Perfect. This is the service. And this is the main. Okay. Main. Yeah, I did that. So, okay, these are changes. So, yes. Okay. What message does it have? Implement hotel routes and services with pagination support. Okay, let's go with that. So now what I will do is close all, switch to my thing over here, and we need to get the create API in place. So I want to now develop the create endpoint for hotel. The schema for the create endpoint should be hotel create. Okay, the controller should call a service, and the service should call repository. Okay, the repository should create the hotel and return. The service should return the hotel. The controller should return the hotel. Wow. The URL for the hotel should follow this thing. Okay, slug should be unique. Slug should be generated from the name. The slug should be slugified. Slug should be 32 characters long. I don't understand that. Um, slug should be unique. Okay, the slug should be lowercase. The random string should be 6 characters long. Have we said that? Yeah, we have it here. So let's understand what all things we have over here. Any new questions? I think not. So let's continue. So yeah, the slug should be unique. The slug should be generated from the name. The slug should be slugified. The slug should be lowercase. Random string should be 6 characters long. 6 should be fine. Okay. The random string should be generated from the name. Random string should be generated from the name. Cut, paste, plan. Let's understand what it has to say. Okay. All good in here. Okay. We have questions. What field should be included in the create schema? Should all fields should have given it name, description, contact phone, contact email, name, description, contact phone, contact email. Yeah, perfect. It got that right. For the 6 character random string generated from the No, deterministic. Same name always produces the same suffix. Hash based. Other. Um, Generate a unique string which has no relation with the name. You can use the current timestamp as a seed to generate the unique string. I will just keep it in my what do you call it, in the the clipboard. Okay, what character should the six character random string contain? Alphanumeric. If a generated slug already exists in the database, how should we handle the collision? Generate a new random suffix. Yeah, this should be fine. What are the chances? Let's see. I mean, it can potentially happen, but and it's a very it's an edge case, so I can live with that. Implement a complete create endpoint for the hotels following the controller service repository pattern. The endpoint will automatically generate unique slugs in the format blah 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 blah. Um, the schema will be hotel.py, add new hotel, create name, description, contact phone, and contact email. This is fine. Create slug generation utility. It will create a utils folder and then slug.py. Okay, fair enough. Create a utility module with slugify name. Generate converts name to slug format. Okay, perfect. Generate random string. Generate six character alphanumeric string using timestamp as seed. Generate unique slug. Mm, Generate unique slug. Generate slugs and handles collisions by appending counter. Okay. Mm. Three different functions. Let me think. Is the better way? Generate unique slug. So what I understand is the generate unique slug takes the name and then it will first call the slugify name. It will get the slug. Then it will generate the random string and at this point probably it will create a um, it will call itself again. What do you call that? It will kind of use a recursion to check whether that exists. Okay. Yeah, that's why the hotel repository has a new method called slug exist. So it has create, it has slug exist, which is fine. Okay. Um, then update hotel service. It will have a create method, generates unique string using the utility function, creates hotel instance with generated slug, calls repository to create hotel, commits transaction, refreshes the hotel. Okay. Um, yeah, I think this is fine, guys. Let's start the process, and if there are any changes, we will look at that later. Wow, it's 52 minutes already. Uh, that's not bad. Uh, we are going a bit slow. I understand. I could have done an entire crud. We'll do that later. I think a good balance is I have seen that if I have created one CRUD and then I give my requirement for a new CRUD and then tell it to follow the existing structure in the existing CRUD, right? It does a better job. So I'll take that perspective, which is let's create this one by one, and then later on we will do a complete CRUD and see how well it performs. It's a new plan, right? Yeah, it's a new plan. So yeah. Mm, Stream health is fine. So, I'm kind of surprised that I'm not able to do a 4K stream. Um, my internet is fast, and my MacBook does support 4K. When I record my videos, I do 4K, but during the stream, I'm not able to do that, and I wonder why. Even on my desktop, right? If you have seen I'll explain you my current setup for OBS. What I'm doing is I have something called as what is that thing? NDI source. Okay, so I have created an NDI source. So I have OBS running on my desktop. Okay, if you see, it's not streaming, it's not recording, but in here I have configured it to be an NDI source, and then my MacBook is oops. Hold on a bit. Slash m py compile. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, so I'm then using that NDI source on my Mac, and I'm streaming it from Mac. So my desktop is not busy. It doesn't get overwhelmed with the streaming hardware requirement, and on top of it, kind of allow me to code. So things are better over here. Hotel.py. This is the uh, still it's a bit sluggish. I don't know why that is happening. This is the schema. So I have name, description, contact, phone, and email. Fine. This is what I expected. No problems here. This is for the utils. Okay. Utils slug.py. It should have three methods: slugify name, to lower, replace spaces and underscores with hyphens, remove all non-alphanumeric characters, replace multiple consecutive hyphens, remove leading and trailing hyphens, slug. Okay, so this is kind of nicely done. Generate random string. So 6 is hard coded. Okay, fair enough. Let's live with that for now. I could have passed it as a parameter, but uh, alphanumeric characters. String dot ASCII lowercase, and string dot digits. And string is coming from, okay, it's a direct import from Python, is what I understand. Okay. Da, 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 da. Generate random characters. Dot join. So string dot join secrets dot choice. Secrets is again something from Python. Let me try and understand. So what I feel is happening over here is it gets 6 alphanumeric characters from a range of 6. It gets 6 random characters underscore in range of 6. So, like it will iterate 6 times, and it will generate a secret alphanumeric character. Can you explain what happening over here? So So secret choice this picks one random character from alphanumeric characters, which is this. Perfect. And repeat 6 times. Concatenate sets. Yep. Okay. That's what I expected. Mm, so now name is this. I think the repository will call this. How is it being called? I need to understand that. Where's the repository? Repository is here. Create is fine. It does a session.add. No rocket science here. What it is doing is statement equals select hotel where slug is this. So it's getting the slug. And this is a repository. Yes, because the logic will be in this service layer. Services, right? So slug equals generate unique slug. This is the method that is in the utils, right? Yeah. And this is fine. So it gets a slug. Check exist equals self dot hotel repo dot slug exist. Is it? I can do that. Yes, it's passing a callable. Yeah. And so what it does is it gets the slug while check exists. So when it is true, it adds one more counter. Right. Absolutely. And that's how things are kind of adding up. Yep. Okay. Not bad. Is there any problem with this? Um, it should execute only once. Like if I have a slug called my hotel 1, what would happen? Yeah, it will create the slug and it will have a unique number. Let's say that A1, B2, C3. Now the chances are there is a slight chance, but it is possible that the slug exists. So at that point, the while loop will run and it will create a new slug and then it will do a check exist again. And if it is true, then only it will return. So which is fine. I mean, it's fine. This is the service. And this is all good. Create. It gets the slug. Creates the hotel. And returns it. Okay. And this is the repository. Oh, this is a route, sorry. What is this? The hotel create. Yeah, fine. So I only had hotel index response. Now it has create and read. Hotel read. It has post. This is get. Okay, guys, this is reviewed. Let's try and create a hotel. Hotel garden view. Mountain view. Oh, nice. hotel with majestic mountain view. Contact phone 98200 and this is john.doe@gmail.com. Okay. What I will do is in our docs. Oh, yeah. I'm not used to this side of code for a long time. That's why I got confused. Sample data.text. I'll save these curls till we have created a seeder. With Laravel, I don't care too much because I can create those seeders, but in here I don't know right now. So I will keep those curl calls. We have a data over here. So ID, name, slug. Let's see what the slug is. 06V666. Okay, perfect. And contact phone is active. Contact email, location count. Perfect. Let's create one more. Hotel Hilltop, a chain of hotels at the top of hills. Okay, and this can be one, John Doe plus one, execute, sample data, and now with this created, let's try out our index page. So we have items, we have total, page, page size. If I do page size as 1, I get my first one as mountain view. Mountain view is the first one, and then hilltop. If I do page 2, I get hilltop. Page 1, mountain view. Page 2, hilltop. So one change which we will have to do is repository, hotel, not create, count is fine. Select this where hotel is active, right? Yeah. I want this query to order by ID, descend. I mean, when I'm doing one page, page 1, limit 1, then I should get the second one first because typically that will be the top one. This is mountain view, and this is what happened, hilltop. And as you can see, I am not getting the phone number and the contact, which is a good thing. Okay, so yeah, I think it's about an hour. Why don't we okay, let's handle the rest of the two URLs quickly. We'll go a bit fast now. I want to create the edit and view, edit and delete endpoints for hotel. view and edit should always take the slug as the path parameter. Um, Slug is not editable. Okay, for now, let's go with that. And what else? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Emails can be repeated, should not be a problem. Okay. For delete, yes, we should use the soft delete approach. The view endpoint should return the hotel details. No. When deleted, hotel should mark as inactive. Add a new column to the hotel as deleted at. When deleted, the deleted at should be the current timestamp. Yeah. Let's go through this thing. Plan. Don't need this. Close all. Any new chat question? Nothing. Okay, perfect. Let's move ahead. For soft delete hotels, should we filter them out by checking both is active false and deleted at as not null, or should we only check deleted at is not null? Filter only, filter by both this and this. No. Mm, filter only by deleted at is no. Okay, I do want the timestamp. Filter only by is active. Okay. Oops. Should the view or and edit endpoints return 404 if a hotel is soft deleted? Okay, these are not admin URLs. So 404 for soft deleted hotels. If I create admin URLs, then I will have an access to the deleted ones. Delete user soft delete this. Mm, add this. There should be a migration. Okay. Repository get by slug. Yep. Update, add soft delete. Update paginated. Um, I did say that this is not required. Just filter by is active for deleted hotels. Update count to exclude soft deleted ones. I wonder what it will do with the count query. Will it change the next thing as well? No changes required. Okay, great. Import date time from this. Okay, service layer updates. Get by slug. Update. Okay. Uh, add delete. Okay. All good. Let's go ahead. We are at 1 hour 13 minutes already, so let's try and wrap it up quickly. And we can say that we have completed an entire API with a lot of chit chat over a course of about 1 hour and 15-20 minutes. Still, I would say that, and if I was doing it without kind of, if I was not doing a live and if I was not interacting with you, then these things would go even faster. So if you are actually working in, as part of your daily job, it's even faster. Like, I would say with an entire review of things, 30 to 40 minutes is what all you need to properly do a new crud like this. Because anyways, this is new stuff that you are building new stuff is easier compared to, let's say, adding a functionality or changing a functionality in an existing code base. So yeah, things are faster. Obviously, in existing code base, to add something or to change something is a different ball game, and that's why we will slowly make changes to this code base and see how things behave, how much um, you know corrections we have to make in our prompts to make things happen. Oh, I deleted the plan. This is this is way confusing. Everything is hotel, right? uh, Typically in Laravel, what I would have done is hotel service, hotel controller, hotel repository. I would have added those suffixes. Looks like it's not done. Let me still have a question in here. In Laravel, we have suffixes for service classes, controllers, repository, class, etc. Oh, do we not have the same in Python? Let it do its thing. I haven't used Claude today much. Um, Models. Why it has done that? Okay, delete it at date time. What is this? Update the exception. List hotels, create, get by ID, update is here. So get by slug, update data, data dot model dump. Yes. Exclude unset true. For field this, set attribute, self dot hotel repo update. So it has done a data dot MySQL dump. What is data? Sorry, model dump, not MySQL dump. My bad. Um, Update fields from data, only provided fields. Okay. Exclude unset attributes. Yeah. Otherwise, what happens is whatever you have not set, it will put that as null. Okay. And then pass it to the repository. Okay. With delete, it's this. Schema, routes, repositories, get by slug statement where is active true, hotel slug. it should not select the contact email and number. Wonder how I can make them hidden. User controller, user service. Oh, perfect. We have that. So I will make that as a change because otherwise this is madness. I won't be able to handle that. Why don't we have a ticket for that? Refactor. Files should have a suffix. The file right now are confusing. At scale, we won't be able to understand which file is a service versus route versus model, etc. So add suffix to them like hotel service, hotel repository, hotel routes, etc. Bug, fine. Yeah, okay. So we'll make that change. Load only. There's some, again, maybe static analysis issue, but get by slug. Why is it complaining? But let's give it a shot. Let's see. We were trying to close it by 1 hour 30 minutes, but yeah, can't uh, push something which is not right. So let's see. SQL Alchemy differ. Okay. Now what is this? Explanation. Load only expects column attributes, but passing model fields cause a type error. Defer refers loading of specific columns. So contact email and contact phones are excluded from the select. This works with SQL models column attributes and avoids loading sensitive fields. But it is still not doing that. Um, get. There's a server error. Because I have not migrated it. Now it should ideally work. Yes. If I now take this slug and put it here, I'm getting the data. Okay. So far so good. I mean, we can live with it. I'll see later on what is the thing with the static analysis of this. Okay. This one is schema, hotel update. That's the only thing it requires, right? And routes. So status is added. Hotel update. I have a get for slug. I have a put for slug. I have a delete for slug. Perfect. All right. I think kind of completes the thing. Sample hotel to be deleted. Okay. Um, let's hit this and get the slug. Go to this. We have already tested it, so that's fine. We will now make a change. We'll only change the name. Okay. Okay. Let's look at the database. Random hotel, sample hotel, sample hotel. Okay, perfect. This is working. And let's try this out. 204. Successful response. We have is active 0, deleted at with the timestamp. Perfect. So we do have a situation we have where we have completed the CRUD in 1.5 hours, but yeah, um, not bad. Huh? Not bad. I am quite happy with the initial set of things that we have been able to create. There are small changes that I would like to do. I will document them, but yeah, overall looks fine. Um, what is it? Open agent. Okay, yeah. But yeah, overall, as I said, this is looking perfect. No complaints. I'll need to have a linter and formatter implementation. Add a linter and formatter for the Python code. Need to add that. Pages don't refresh. Issue was not updating. I guess they finally implemented SPA. Okay. Um, this kind of completes the CRUD API, is what I feel. You have technical specs, repository, rules, slug generation logic, routes, get for hotel, this. Let me see one thing. Hotel slash slug, yeah. Hmm. Is done. This is 6 character, but fine. It is returning 201, right? Yeah. Then list returns a paginated this max. Can't be 100. Yeah. I think all are done. There's no point. I will just say that particular commit completes #1. All right, guys. So that's about it. Thanks for joining. This has been entertaining. I can see more users coming in for the live sessions, even with about half an hour of intimation. So I'll try to plan this a little more ahead of time so that and more users can get notified. I understand YouTube has an algorithm where if it knows ahead of time, it will send the notification to more users, and more users will be live. But that's fine, and I'll slowly get the hold of it, about this live thing. But this is fun, and to be very honest, this is fun. And um, let's take it to a nice place where it's a largish application to work with. Okay, so thanks guys, thanks for being there. It was fun. If you like this video, do click on the thumbs up icon. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you have any feedback, comment below, then we can take it from there. Thanks, bye.